there guys, it's Christina from craftingwithchristina.com. Before I start today's project, I just wanted to make a couple of announcements. If you are in the Western New York region, this is most likely going to pertain to you, but this could also work well with any of my national, international followers as well. Starting today, September 2nd, I have officially opened my Crafting with Christina Memory Works store. It's open on my website, www.craftingwithchristina.com. If you just hit the store link, it'll take you to my store where you can purchase a wide variety of scrapbooking supplies, from Tim Holtz Distress ink markers to the latest paper releases from CHA. So I have everything available from there. Shipping's super affordable, and I currently have a Labor Day sale going on with some papers from Simple Stories. So if you want to check that out, you can do so on my webpage just by hitting the store link. So continuing on with that, since I'm now going forward as a consultant for Memory Works, I will be available for the Western New York region for hosting in-house parties and crop nights. I also have two events planned for the Western New York viewership. The first one's going to be a crop night on October 26th. It's my Fun Fall crop, and it's going to be around the $15 mark for an all-day crop. I will be there with a bunch of my projects, as well as a table full of supplies that you guys can use if you want to come. Various tools from We Are Memory Keepers, and some, oh, there's my cat, the latest papers from Simple Stories, snap albums, and a bunch of various things, as well as I will have some stock on me if you wanted to buy anything. I will also be doing giveaways and a few contests. Momo. The second project I have, the second local event that I am planning is for November 2nd. It is going to be my holiday card boot camp. That is going to be, I don't know the price point yet. It depends on registration, which is opening now. If you wanted to have more info on either of these two events, you can just send me an email or message me. These are for Western New York, or if you're traveling in the area, if you live nearby, I can give you all the details more specifically. But on November 2nd, we're going to be making six holiday cards. They're going to be very simple, easy for you guys to replicate, yet with the latest papers and patterns and designs. And they'll be very easy. So if you're a beginner, it's nothing for you to worry about. They won't be that difficult. Or if you are advanced, it'll be something that you can really easily add whatever you want. All you'll need to bring is some basic supplies, your paper trimmer, some adhesives, some pop dots. I don't know what else I put on the list. I think I put like brown ink. But it'll be very, very simple for anyone who's beginner or anyone who's advanced. And it'll include enough projects to make 6 at the boot camp, at the holiday card boot camp, as well as some supplies. You'll have extra to take home to work on some extra cards if you wanted them to all match. But that is my big announcement. So moving forward, today we're going to be doing a card for back to school, since that's still the theme I'm kind of stuck on, using some old Simple Stories papers from the Summer Fresh. I really always loved this paper, but I never really got while it was called Summer Fresh. I mean, to me, it always reminded me of school. So I'm just going to be using these papers to make a school card. So I have a piece of American Crafts cardstock. This is from the Earth Tones, which is also available in my store on the American Crafts Earth Tone. And it is sized for A2 size card. So it is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So I have a score line here at the top. And then I have a piece of 4 by 5 Simple Stories cardstock from the Freshly Made collection, or Summer Fresh. What am I talking about? Freshly Made. Summer Fresh collection. And I am just going to ink that with my Tim Holtz Distress inks and Craig Burlap. And I'm just going to use some adhesive and tape that right down for our first piece of our card. Next, I have 2 pieces of craft cardstock. This larger one is sized at 3.5 by 2.5. The smaller is 2 by 3.25. And I am also going to take my Tim Holtz Distress ink and also ink around the edges of both of these pieces as well. Next, I have a piece of, actually 2 pieces, that layer on top of these. This one is this yellow with the polka dots is 3.25 by 2.25, and this green with the polka dots is 1.75 by 3. So they're all 1/4 inch border all the way, well, 1/8 border all around. They're 1/4 inch smaller. So I'm going to just use my frayed burlap layer on top of there. So I'm just gonna use some adhesive as well. And I'm going to layer these kind of one underneath the other onto the center of my card, like that. And I'm just going to use some adhesive to put those down. Next, across my card, I have this strip of the denim paper from Summer Fresh, and I have cut this at 1.25 by 5, and then I just use my scissors to make a banner cut on each of the edges. So we're going to take our frayed burlap and ink that all the way around as well. And the reason I do this is when you cut pattern paper, it leaves a little bit of white, so this is a white core. And I just like to ink it so it doesn't look like it's been trimmed, if that makes sense. It gives a much more polished and finished look. And I'm not going to trim that down just yet. For my main image of my card, I use the Peachy Keen Stamp August 2012 Stamp Club kit, and I use the apple, and as you can see here, I did this new technique called no line stamping. So it makes it look, let's see if I can highlight right, it makes it look as if it's very, very hand drawn. So you don't really see any of the stamping lines. So I'm not going to give a full in-depth tutorial on how to do that technique just yet, as I'm still learning, but I can give you the basics. So what I did was I had my little apple stamp, I mounted on my block, and then you want to use a light ink. You don't want to use black. You want to use like a brown or something along those lines, and you're going to want the paper that you're going to stamp it on as well as a scratch. So I think I used Chestnut Roan, which is like a medium tone brown. And I inked my stamp this color and then stamp it. So I want it dark enough so you guys can see. Okay, that's it. Let me get my light right. Okay, so you can see very, very faint impression of the stamp versus the one I originally stamped. So you're stamping off a few times, depending on what kind of ink, on a scratch, and then you're going to stamp the light image onto your cardstock. I colored my apple with some Spectrum Noir markers. I used CR8, CR10, and CR11, and I just colored them in, starting with the lightest to the darkest. On the craft, I just colored it in, but since there are no real defined lines, you're going to want to be very, very careful when you color this in, because you can't really fudge the lines because they're so light. And you have to really do a good job coloring right up to the line and not over. So I'm just going to do this one color.
It's a
so
really
you guys
crappy
can
coloring
see.
job, but
You can see that even when it's colored in, you can't see any of the lines on the apple. So it looks like I just drew that. So you have to be very conscious of that you're coloring around the edges really smooth and you're coloring it smooth. This one obviously is not because I just kind of like haphazardly colored it, but that's the basic technique. So moving forward with my little image here, I colored it with all the way in with the shading, color the stem and the leaf, and then I went in with IG4, IG6, and IG2 and did a little grounding here for a stamp, but it looks pretty much uncolored. For the shine, I did do a little shading for the shine, but for the extra shine, I used some glossy accents on the apple part. A nice shiny red apple. So that's how I got my image. I'm also going to take the frayed burlap and ink around the edges. There. And we're going to mount that onto our American Crafts card base. I cut both of these out with my Quick Cuts cutters. I just used a larger size for the mounting circle and this smaller size for the image. So I did that. I'm going to ink that with the ink as well. Go. So we're going to just use some foam squares. And I'm going to adhere it onto our banner straight down. I'm not using any foam squares for that piece. So we have, and then I'm going to take this hole and pop that up using foam squares. Our card is nearly complete. I have a small white button from American Crafts and some brown twine. And I'm just going to tie a bow. So I'll pull that all the way through. We're going to tie it in a normal bow. Extend the tails really big, so the loops really big. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then use the loop to tie another bow. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then adjust the loops so they're even in size. There we go. And we're just going to trim our tails. And then add that to our scrapbook page, or our card. What am I talking about? Right there. I'm just going to do that using some hot glue. Okay, so I attached our bow onto my card, and this is what it looks like finished. So I hope you guys really like this project. Thank you so much for watching craftingwithchristina.com, and please do not forget to like and subscribe to this video, my channel on YouTube, as well as go ahead and check out my store at craftingwithchristina.com and just hit the store link. Thank you so much. You have a great day. Bye-bye.